Hey, Bulls and Bears, it is Friday, January 21st, 2022. Thank you so much for being here. What is headed our way with this economy in 2022 is not going to be for the unprepared. Let's get into some news. We're going to talk about the credit card debt, what's going to be happening to a lot of these people that have massive amounts of credit card debt, what's going on with the rents, the rising prices, the cost of living in many different areas. We're going to talk about it today. Let's go ahead and get started. Recent article: credit card balances continue to spike as Americans become increasingly reliant on credit card debt. So let me ask you out there in the audience, when is the next round of stimulus checks going to come out? When we start seeing people filing bankruptcy, when bankruptcies start to increase, when people can no longer keep up with these debt levels, especially if they decide to rise interest rates a little bit. Now, I just want to clarify, I don't think the tiny rate hikes that they may or may not do, but even if they do these tiny rate hikes, it's not going to affect the larger markets. For example, the housing market, it's not going to have much of an impact because of the severe lack of inventory and the rising population, combined with the number of homes being destroyed with all of the natural disasters, combined with the unleashed bank lending that we're going to continue to see. Home prices will continue to rise. But the ones that are going to be in big trouble is just the average working person that has 5, 10, 20, who knows, maybe more credit card debt, thousands of dollars of credit card debt, and they're going to see their interest rate go even higher. Right now, credit cards averages about 17%. You're going to see the average go up to 19, 20%, and even higher for some cards. So the people that are at the biggest tough spot right now between a rock and a hard place is the typical middle class, working class person. And we will continue to see more middle class people fall down into the poverty status levels, unfortunately, with what's happening here. Another recent article, CNBC: 40% of Americans with credit card debt don't even know their interest rate. And I think a lot of this is people are afraid to look, but a lot of people weren't taught to begin with how interest rates even work. And a lot of people will make the minimum payment on their credit card. And I hope they at least look at their statement and see how much they're paying each month in interest by not paying it off in full. Now, I don't want to paint it with a broad brush here. A lot of people are very careful about what they spend, and they're forced to use credit cards just for necessities, the food, the utilities. And many of those same people cannot pay that card off in full each month. But on the other hand, you have a lot of people that waste money. They go out and they spend money foolishly. We did a report a few months ago about how casinos saw record profits in the third quarter of 2021. I have not seen the fourth quarter numbers yet, but I'm assuming it's pretty similar and probably even worse than the third quarter, where people lost record amounts of money at the casinos and casinos made record profits. All right, just one of many examples of how people are choosing to spend their money unnecessarily. So yeah, people weren't taught about how credit cards compound interest, how those things add up over time, and how making the minimum payments not gonna pay off your debt, maybe in 20 or 30 years. But actually, when interest rates rise, you'll never pay off the debt making the minimum payment. And I continue to see and forecast, and what I expect is a big uptick in bankruptcies starting in the second half of 2022. Again, we'll have to see how it plays out. They could send out another round of stimulus checks. They could cancel rents. There's all kinds of intervention that could be done here. But I expect things to continue to get worse for the average working person. Next, speaking of the average working person, remember when the news came out that they were going to hire about 80,000 new tax collector agents, new IRS agents? And the story behind that was they're going to go after the rich people. No one, the middle class will not have to worry. They're only going to go after the rich because the rich need to pay their fair share. That's what we were told. Well, here it is. The IRS issues tax documents for side hustles for transactions over $600. $600. Does that sound like they're only going after the rich and the mega wealthy? I mean, I didn't believe that story to begin with, but there were a few people here on this channel that kind of doubted me on that. Why would they set the threshold at $600 if they were going only after the mega rich and the super wealthy? So yeah, they're coming after you, the working person. You are going to be the one paying for this. You, the one selling a few things at a yard sale. You, the one hustling to try to make a few extra dollars, maybe selling things on eBay. You, the person that's going to maybe work a side job, a side hustle, maybe do some Uber driving, Uber delivery. The person that's trying to do also something on the side, maybe some sort of self-employment, 1099 type of income job. They're coming after you, so expect things to get more difficult this year. Another recent article, nearly half of 18 to 34-year-olds feel like they're drowning in debt. Nearly half. So let me ask again, does this sound like an economic recovery for the average person? Or is this a recovery for the markets, for the billionaire class, for the super rich, the mega wealthy, mega corporations, and the too big to fail financial institutions? All right, and folks, we're just getting started. They're just beginning to talk about raising these rates. Imagine if interest rates go up 3, 4, 5% higher on credit card debt with the levels of debt that we're seeing right now, which is at all-time high debt levels for the average consumer. Recent article here, CNBC, 1 in 3 Americans overspent during the holidays, boosting credit card balances. Of course, people still want to celebrate the holidays. They still want to do fun stuff. They still want to travel. They still want to have fun. They still want to go to the casino, and they still want to buy gifts for people. And with everything being priced much higher, it's really not rocket science. We know that this was going to happen. And these people that overspent during the holidays, they'll be lucky to pay off even part of that new debt this year, considering the rising cost of everything else. But I guess a lot of people believed that inflation was temporary, that it was transitory, and they went out and spent thinking better days were going to be ahead. Maybe some of these people expected a bigger pay raise. Who knows what they were thinking, but 1 in 3 Americans overspent during the holidays. What else to expect? Well, rising rents. Rent prices expected to increase in all U.S. markets in 2022, according to Freddie Mac. And again, this is no surprise to any of you. All of the new money creation, all of the lending right now, all of these supply chain issues, the lack of production here in the United States, the lack of manufacturing, all the slowdowns with the health crisis, and everything else combined. On top of one another is creating this mess, and everything's going to get more expensive here in 2022. Continue to brace, folks. Hold on to your wallets, and I would be very careful about your spending. And continue to look to anti-debt instruments to try to ride this bull and make some money, with this crazy money printing that's happening in these markets. Looks like the stock market recovered a bit here. We saw the big sell-off. Supposedly that was the fear of rising interest rates. Well, they haven't reversed their talk or their discussions of raising these interest rates. So why did markets recover so quickly? You might want to ask yourself that. That's because Wall Street has endless life support, endless market propping, endless stimulus, endless plunge protection, while the average person, the average working class person here in the United States, does not have the same type of a backstop or safety net or protection as they do on Wall Street. That's the truth. I wish I had better news for you, but that's what's happening. Hope you all are doing well, and hope you're finding a way to profit from this. But make no mistake about it, they're coming after us. Everybody prepare. Thanks for being here. Bye for now. Peace.